from Minushalinee Shankar of grade 11. Can we give her a round of applause?
So, a very good afternoon to everybody gathered here today. I am Minushalinee of grade 11 and I am here with a presentation prepared under the topic of prehistoric creatures that existed on Earth. So, what is prehistoric? Prehistoric refers to the time period before literacy was even found. So I have chosen a bunch of animals that existed in the prehistoric era, and I hope that it will be very interesting for the audience and you will learn something new from my presentation. With that being said, let's move on to the first animal on my list. It is the megalodon. One second. So it is the megalodon. As you can see, this looks like a shark, but this creature existed in the prehistoric period, and this was the largest shark to have ever existed, growing up to 60 feet in length. And the massive size of this shark helped it dominate the entire ocean life. And this shark goes to 40,000 feet throughout their entire lifetime. They have been found to be larger than the T-Rex also. So we all know how big the T-Rex is, and imagine a shark which is larger than the T-Rex. And their reproduction method was live birthing 2 babies at a time, as they were mammals. And so we wouldn't have to worry about the megalodons dominating the oceans in the current world, because they have gone extinct 3.6 million years ago due to the cooling of the seas. So here are a few AI generated images of the megalodon. So the second animal on our list is the Deinosuchus. So as you can see, this looks like a crocodile, but this is not a modern day crocodile that we see. This is also a gigantic crocodile that existed long ago. This crocodile was 33 feet long, making it way bigger than the modern crocodiles, as the modern crocodiles are like 11 to 12 feet in length. And it was as heavy and big as the T-Rex. Also, there has been proof to say that this reptile fed on T-Rex. Also, this crocodile mostly fed on sea turtles and ate large dinosaurs on a consistent basis. So by that being said, we can all literally just imagine how big this dinosaur, this reptile must have been. So its bite force was 23,000 per square inch, which is more than the double bite force of a modern crocodile. And they could live up to 50 years. So here are a few AI generated images of reptile, and as you can see here, this is a comparison between a grown man and this reptile. So you can already, just by looking at this picture, you can understand how big and massive this creature has been. So the third animal on our list is known as the arthropoda. As you can see here, you might have seen this creature just in your neighborhood or in your gardens, because this looks like a centipede, but there is one correction in there. This creature was massive and very large. So this had about 32 to 64 legs, and it was 8.5 feet long, which is way longer than a grown man. So imagine how scary it would be to see a centipede that long. And they were practically blind, and they had the sense of smell and touch only. So that is how they relied on food also. And they fed on dense vegetation, and they were only plant eaters. They weren't carnivores. So in order to reproduce rapidly, they laid dozens of eggs. And they have gone extinct to 250 million years ago. So we wouldn't have to worry about them, fortunately, roaming around in our neighborhoods. here is a comparison between a human being and this arthropod. So this is the largest arthropod to have ever existed on Earth. So the fourth animal on our list is known as the Androsarchus. This is the largest mammalian predator to have ever existed. Also, this is known as the ancient wolf, as the size between the wolf and this Androsarchus is pretty similar. And it grew over 12 feet in length and they were 3.6 meters long, which is also comparatively relatable to a wolf or a bear. The main cause of their extinction was due to the climate changes and the competition for food. And they live birthed their babies as they were mammals. Also, the record about their parenting is pretty unclear in the internet. So, here is a comparison between a grown man and an Androsarchus. As you can see, it's not much of a big difference between a wolf and this animal. So that is why it was called the ancient wolf also. So this slide of my presentation, I think it might be interesting for most of you all, because this is the largest snake to have ever existed on Earth, the Titanoboa. This snake was about 42 to 47 feet long, making it the largest snake to have ever been found in history. It was an apex predator and used its constriction to kill its prey such as large animals, also crocodiles and many other large animals. So, fortunately, we wouldn't have to worry about them just being in our neighborhoods or forests, because they extincted 66 million years ago, and the current biggest snake in the world is the green anaconda. So, they could live as well as water and extreme heat conditions, as they are cold-blooded animals. So, here is the comparison between the Titanoboa and a grown man. As you can see, this snake was literally massive. So, the last animal on our presentation is the Dunkleosteus. So, this massive fish was about 50 feet long, which makes it like bigger than a school bus. And also, they were cannibals, as in they ate each other. It could be due to starvation or conflicts which arose between them. And they didn't have teeth. Instead, they consisted of sharp bony blades in their jaws, which helped them to bring down the thickest armor-like fish. So, they went extinct due to the oxygen depletion in ocean and the climate changes. And this fish holds the record of having the second most powerful bite in the fish kingdom. Also, the massive structure of this fish helped to dominate the entire ocean, just like the megalodons. Also, there is proof to say that this fish has fed on sharks that we see now and consider them as the ones that dominate the present ocean. But once they were dominated by the Dunkleosteus. So here are a few AI-generated images of this fish. So before I finish my presentation, I would like to ask you all the question. There has been an animal which existed in the prehistoric era and till date holds the record of being the largest animal to have ever walked the earth. Does anybody know what animal that is? So, does anybody know what animal that is? So, since anybody is not saying, I say myself, it is the blue whale. This animal has lived since in the prehistoric period and till date holds the record of being the biggest animal to have ever walked the earth. It was bigger than the T-Rex, the Ankylosaurus, the Dunkleosteus, every animal. And we should consider ourselves truly lucky to be living in the same world as the mothers of nature who are also known as the blue whale. So with that being said, I hope that we will do everything to protect the oceans and not harm any animals. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minushalinee, for that scientific presentation.